everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Patty. Nice to meet you. I am a Filipino-American gal in her 20s living in Germany, and even though today's topic is not specifically Germany related, it is a hobby that I've developed while living here, and that is reading. You probably clicked on this video because it's 2021, we're a few weeks in, you told yourself, I want to read more this year and spend less time on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, what have you. Well, don't fret, because I'm here to tell you something that worked for me, and I'm sure it'll work for you as well, as long as you follow the following steps. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Before April 2020, I did not like reading at all. It wasn't even something that crossed my mind. But on the first wave of lockdown, spending too much time on social media, it just didn't make me feel good, and it just didn't make me feel like I was progressing in any way. Don't get me wrong, social media of course can be a good thing. I mean, we're here right now. I just wanted to do something a little different in my everyday routine. That's exactly what prompted me to go ahead and get a book. I have 5 steps in this video that you can follow and immediately put into practice after watching this video. And we're gonna call this little segment, Get Yourself to Read 101. Are you okay with that? Okay. If not, that's okay. I'm still gonna go on with it. The first step is very simple, and that is to get yourself in the mindset to read. If you've clicked on this video and have made it this far, I mean, hey, good news is that you're well underway in getting yourself in the mindset to read. When I realized that I was tired of just looking at the screen and, you know, my Instagram feed was literally telling me like, hey, you're all caught up, that's when I said, okay, Patty, now you're gonna go ahead and get reading. Reading definitely uses a different part of your brain compared to mindlessly scrolling on social media. And so getting yourself in the mindset to read and telling your brain like, hey brain, you and I are gonna go on this journey together. It'll be fun and it'll teach you something new. Just get yourself in the mindset, lead with the intention of, I want to be entertained a different way, I want to learn something. I feel like sometimes it's hard for us to pick up new habits because you feel this overwhelming pressure and your brain is telling you like, okay, once I do this, it'll be forever. But no, you can ease your worries by saying, hey brain, we're gonna try this little thing out called reading, and we're gonna do it little by little, step by step. Which leads me to my next point, dedicate time to read in your schedule. I know that everyone's downtime is different and everyone prefers to use it differently, but when you put in a time on a daily basis to read, I promise you that you will get in the habit of repeating this, integrating it as part of your lifestyle. When I bought my first book last year, I definitely put it in my weekly planner to read at least 10 minutes per day. You can definitely customize the time according to your schedule, but for me, I started with 10 minutes per day. I set a timer on my phone and told myself to sit down and dedicate those 10 minutes. And when the 10 minutes is up, that little timer will ring, and then it's up to you to know whether you want to continue reading or not. And then after the first week, I found myself dedicating more and more time into my schedule to read. It went from 10 minutes to 15 to 20 to 30 to now where I don't even need to write it down. I just read when I feel like it. Another way you can dedicate time in your daily schedule is to setting a page goal. I also wrote down in my to-do list, especially if you like to write down things and cross things off your to-do list, just write down, read 10 pages today. Simple enough, right? I mean, of course, this depends on the type of book that you're reading, whether how long those 10 pages will take you to read, but 10 pages seems solid. That could be one chapter, a quarter of a chapter, or a tenth of a chapter, but hey, that's okay. The goal here is to get yourself in the habit of reading something little by little every day. My third advice is probably going to be the second to most important step of getting yourself in the habit of reading. That is choosing the right reading experience for you. We're fortunate enough to be living in an age where there's not only paperback and hardback covers that are available to you, but we have ebooks now that you can read on iPads, audiobooks, Kindles. The best reading experience for me is having a physical book with me. And of course, paperbacks do feel differently than hardcovers. Like sometimes, like this Obama book, for example, she is hard to read when you're in bed because first of all, she's thick, and second of all, it's just not as comfortably grasping. I can't comfortably grasp it as much of a paperback, but I do read both. But I find that with hardcovers, I do have to kind of be sitting properly, if that makes sense, whereas a paperback, I can literally be in bed, lying down, and just like cuddled up with it. So yeah. Choose the right experience for you, and I guarantee that this is going to be very helpful in making you enjoy reading. And now with the most important step, I personally believe, to get you to read is picking a good first book to hook you in that new habit. You'll probably be looking for recommendations on your story on Instagram, from your friends or your network, and also from booktubers or YouTubers whose content focus on books. Yes, that's a world on YouTube that I recently found out. People have their own taste and they will definitely recommend something to their liking, and not everything will be interesting to you as much as it is interesting for them. So I recommend you reading a synopsis of the book where you can get a good first impression on the book that you are potentially going to read. Ask yourself, is this topic interesting or important to you at the moment? I find that sometimes, for example, the self-help genre book is going to be self-help. However, I do believe that reading a book in the right time is going to be more impactful to you than reading something that you weren't prepared to read just yet. Another tip that I do have is to take your book with you anywhere and everywhere. I know we're not going to too many places these days, but once we're back to being able to commute and be just out in society again, using your commute time to places, whether it's 15 minutes or 30 minutes or even to an hour for some people who live in bigger cities, I find that it actually makes the commute go by a lot faster, and also just having a smoother experience because I find myself getting lost in a book. Just don't miss your stops because that almost happened to me. Okay, so now you're in your reading groove, you followed the 5 steps, you found the perfect genre, and you finished your first book. Congrats. Now you want to read more and continue this habit. What I did is set a reading system to keep track of all the books that I'm reading. If you saw my 2020 planner review video, I did set a goal to read 10 books, and I set up a system of a reading list to personally have that more tangible feeling that yes, I finished a book and accomplished this thing that I put my mind into and dedicated time to. Setting a goal of 10 books for me was realistic enough, but also challenging enough to where I found myself after every book before I got to those 10, I continuously just wanted to pick up something else. Goodreads is a great app that I found, I think, halfway through my reading journey last year. There I was able to track the books I was reading, but also easily find book recommendations from the app according to my liking, and you can mark it as something that you're currently reading, want to read, or have already read in the past. And then you can also befriend other people, for example your circle of friends, if you want to make it a challenge to keep tabs on each other or something like that, just to motivate each other to read. I promise you that if you follow these steps, this will definitely get you in the habit of reading and keep you wanting to read more. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and hit that like button down below and the subscribe button for more videos from me, and share this video with a friend who you think could need that nudge and get them to read more this year. So with that, thanks again for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Tschüss! Show me love.